Hey guys, how you going? This is BillyEatWorld, and on this week's episode of Weapon of the Week, we're taking a look at the ever-popular AWS. With Hardline coming out, this will probably be the last BF4 Weapon of the Week for a while, but don't worry, I'll be back to uploading plenty more BF4 content once the Hardline hype has died down. If you guys want to suggest a Hardline weapon and customization for me to take a look at though, feel free to leave it in the comment section below and I'll see what I can do. I'll be chipping away at quite a lot of the guns in Hardline in the next few weeks, so let me know what you guys want to see first and I'll do my best to make them a priority. But anyway, the AWS I'm pretty sure almost everyone has had the chance to play with, considering it's probably the most popular light machine gun in the game. It's still generally a good all-round LMG, but to be honest, something about this gun just doesn't seem right anymore, although you wouldn't think that at first when you look at the stats. The AWS fires at 780 RPM, deals the standard 5.56 caliber LMG damage model, and has a very quick reload in comparison to pretty much all of the other guns in the category. It's also got a decent but not stunning muzzle velocity, better than average moving accuracy, and of course a very large capacity of 100 rounds. Now, in terms of weaknesses, the AWS really doesn't have many, but I guess you could say that it's maybe a little too average when you compare it to some of the other LMGs. In previous patches, quite a lot of the automatic weapons got a nerf to max damage, and I think this is a big part of why I didn't enjoy the AWS as much as I did before the patch. Also, even though the recoil pattern of this gun isn't bad compared to a lot of the other LMGs, it does tend to jump around a fair bit, which combined with its base accuracy of 0.3, means it's not going to compete with an AR. When you take this into consideration with the new damage model, I find the more accurate LMGs like the LSAT tend to be a bit better now, because landing that extra shot can be the difference between getting or not getting a kill. Now, that's not to say that the AWS isn't a good weapon. I mean, I probably would still prefer a harder hitting LMG, but the AWS does hold its own. It's a really good choice for a stealth loadout and for players who like a quicker reload, but just bear in mind it's not the best for mid to long range, so try and play accordingly. The AWS is almost like the M416 of the LMG category, but like I've explained in previous videos, what makes a good all-round AR doesn't necessarily translate to the other categories. Like the carbines, the LMGs are less accurate, so I feel like the AWS would be better if it fired at 700 RPM like the AK-5C, but all in all you can't really complain, and like any gun you'll eventually get used to it. As for attachments, in this setup I'm running the AWS with the EOTech hollow sight, green laser, suppressor and the stubby grip. This gun doesn't really need any extra magnification, but it does need a little more accuracy, and the stubby grip will help with this as long as you're standing still. My top tips for this weapon would be to try and get behind the enemy whenever you can, and put those 100 rounds to good use, especially on rush. Also, try not to hold in the trigger, because the last thing you want to do with this gun is make it any less accurate than it already is, or deal with that horizontal kick. But anyway guys, that just about wraps up this episode of Weapon of the Week, so feel free to leave a suggestion for next week's episode, and as always, if you like what you see, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Also, check out the links in the description below if you want to see more of my videos, or if you'd like to support my channel on Patreon, and until next time, see you later, and have a good one.